Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Thursday afternoon in 8th Judicial District Court, Christian Dior Young, age 26, was sentenced to 3 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice on charges of possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, more than 4 grams and less than 200 grams. He was indicted in February of this year for the possession. Young had meth in his sock when arrested near the Douglas School campus, a drug-free zone. He's been in prison once before, and after Thursday, if he's convicted of a third-degree felony again, he will be sentenced to 25 years to life under the habitual offender statute. A count of engaging in organized crime was dismissed against Young as part of the plea bargain. His co-defendant in the engaging in organized crime case, Joseph Rashad Washington, pled guilty to 3 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice a couple of months ago. Young will report to prison on August the 4th. Thursday, May 26th, was a busy day for a Hopkins County grand jury as they handed down 84 indictments against 65 individuals. Of the 84 indictments, 12 were sealed indictments. Philip Justin Roan, age 27, of Barksdale, Louisiana, was indicted for sexual assault of a child. He was arrested on February 28th of this year when the minor's parents informed law enforcement officers that their child had not returned home. Francisco Ledesma was indicted on 3 counts of theft of cattle, as was Moses Manuel Lopez on 3 counts of theft of cattle. The pair from the Picton area were arrested in April of this year by Hopkins County Sheriff's officers for theft of cattle from dairy farms in that area. Caitlin Leanne Gumpert, age 24, was indicted on 1 count of abandoned endangerment of a child, 1 count of manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, more than 1 gram but less than 4 grams, and 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance less than 1 gram in a drug-free zone. A routine traffic stop in the 300 block of Church Street shortly after 7 p.m. on March 7th caused officers to serve 2 warrants against Gumpert at that time. James Christopher Castleberry, age 31, was indicted on 1 count of abandoned endangerment of a child, 1 count of possession of a controlled substance less than 1 gram in a drug-free zone, and for manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, more than 1 gram and less than 4 grams. A routine traffic stop near the 2100 block of South Broadway Street Thursday evening, March the 3rd, led to the arrest of Castleberry. Castleberry and Gumpert were working together. Raylynn Daniel Arney was indicted for abandoning and endangering a child, as was Talifero Prince, age 33. Arney and Prince were both arrested Monday afternoon, April 18th, on felony charges for endangering a child. Also indicted for endangering or abandoning and endangering a child was Elizabeth Louise Willis, age 30, of Sulphur Springs. Willis was arrested at Cooper by Special Crimes Unit Sergeants Estes and Krause. She also was working with the pair Arney and Prince. Oscar Garcia Jr., age 37, was indicted for theft of a firearm, evading arrest with a vehicle, and for unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. The short-lived vehicle chase on Highway 11 in Como on Wednesday, April 20th, led to the arrest of Garcia. Jonathan Obed Gody, age 17, was indicted for theft of property more than $2,500 but less than $30,000. Gode was one of 2 Greenville men arrested Thursday, April 21st, when they attempted to retrieve an ATV they had tampered with and pushed into a tree line. Also arrested at that time and indicted by the grand jury Thursday was David Lopez. Indicted for burglary of a building was Misty Michelle Watson, age 42. Watson was apparently caught in the act of burglary Thursday, September 9th at 9:25 p.m. when Officer David Kelly of Sulphur Springs responded to a report for a burglary in progress in the 300 block of North Davis Street. Samantha Pennington was indicted for engaging in organized crime, and Charles Chasen Williams indicted for engaging in organized crime. Williams, age 17, and Pennington, age 18, were the 2 adults arrested along with 5 juveniles for the burglary of a business in Hopkins County. They were discovered because of a post on Facebook by one of the individuals involved. Cheney Nicole Doyle was indicted for unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. Kevin Dean Lowe was indicted for unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. Jason Wayne Metters was indicted for unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. Bradley Sean Ogles was indicted for unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. Indicted individually for theft of a firearm was Quentin Lee Wright. Carmen J. Tinajero was indicted for assault of a public servant. Crystal Lynn Deegan was indicted on 3 counts of forgery of a government instrument. Brittany Lee McDonald was indicted on 1 count of fraud, use, possession of identifying information. Shastity Kate Patton was indicted for credit card and debit card abuse. Terry Kyle Tate was indicted for hindering apprehension. Indicted individually for tamper, manufacture of physical evidence were Mason Kyle Poole and James Wesley Preston. Indicted for driving while intoxicated, 1 count each, Brandon Ray Brock, Eddie Dean Woodson, and Itoma Jennings. Valerie Ann Hicks was indicted on 1 count of manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance less than 1 gram, 1 count of manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance more than 1 gram but less than 4 grams, and for manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance less than 28 grams. Jerry Wayne Taylor was indicted on 1 count of manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance less than 1 gram, 1 count of manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance more than 1 gram but less than 4 grams, and manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance less than 4 grams, more than 4 grams but less than 28 grams. Nicole Ray Pritchard was indicted on 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance more than 4 grams but less than 200 grams. Brandon John Stowater was indicted for possession of a controlled substance more than 4 grams but less than 200 grams. Miranda Louise Miller was indicted for possession of a controlled substance more than 1 gram but less than 4 grams. Martin Lee Contreras was indicted for manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance less than 1 gram in a drug-free zone. Abby Nicole Shanahan was indicted for possession of a controlled substance less than 1 gram in a drug-free zone. Todd Phillip Jefferson was indicted on 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance less than 1 gram. Indicted in 1 count of possession of a controlled substance less than 1 gram was Dana Jean Aldridge, Velma Alvarero, Heaven Faith Buchanan, Roy Freeman Burkham, Billy Don Campbell, Wesley James Chester, George Sanchez Gonzalez, Joshua James Harmon, Jake Ryan Martin, Derek Edward Morris, Haley Petrie, Shaana Angelic Rodriguez, Russell Edward Skeen, Tavian Dwayne Tave, and Brittany Danielle Ward. If you want to see the complete story on each of these, go to ksstradio.com. The Silver Springs High School UIL academic team finished 6th at the state competition earlier this week in Austin. Wildcat UIL academic coordinator Gina Wilder tells us about this state event.
We had a wonderful trip and the kids did so well. Every student medaled. I'm so proud of them. In news writing, Stephen Payne got 3rd place, and Brandon Nelson is his coach. So they really did a wonderful job. In literary criticism, Patricia Parks came in 6th place with Jesse Allen, Carissa Carter, and Chloe Ross. While they didn't place in the top 6, they were just right there, and they pulled out a strong first place team win. Very proud of them. And of course, Gil Herman coaches those. In spelling and vocabulary, Lydia Burleson placed 4th, and then cousins Chase Charlton and Carlson McElwain tied for 5th, and then Manny Eckhart rounded out that team, and so we got a strong first place win out of them as well. And then finally, Lydia Burleson topped it all off with being the state champ in ready writing. So she got that first place win, and Miss Herman coaches spelling and ready writing. So I'm just still reeling from it all. It was so wonderful. We did place 6th overall as a team, and I believe there were 63 5A schools down there.
Wow.
So just so excited. So I'm thinking, okay, next year, if we can get just a few more, we can have that academic championship.
What's the best we've done? Didn't we finish 2nd?
Yes, we did. We finished 2nd. And so I really want first place now. Hallsville did win first place.
Wow.
So very, very happy for them because they do work so hard. So I was really pleased with that. And we got a picture of Allegra Thomas from North Hopkins with her, and Janice Thomas is her mother and coach. She won first place ready riding, and then with Miss Herman and Lydia. So I thought, Hopkins County is well represented.
Very good. So outside of second place, was this our second best finish that you can remember, or have we?
I think so. Last year we were 10th.
Seemed like we were
And there
7th.
there may have been another one in there, but this was the best in a little while. So I'm pleased. We're always in that top 10, or we have been for several years. We've held in that top 10. Of course, Miss Herman's amazing. The points that she racks up with her kiddos.
Yeah, sometimes we have a few more students, but for the number of students we had, they
Yes.
really came through, didn't they?
Yes. And I know our social studies team is working really, really hard. I'm hoping that I can get some extra practice time, like maybe I could get a class period for Mrs. Grafton, because she's a strong coach, and that's a strong team of where they want it. And that's what it takes. It takes those kids wanting it. I've already ordered those books. They've been reading on those books since the regional contest. So they're bound and determined they're going next year. So if we can get another team or two down there, we could win state.
Well, there's amazing results again this year.
Thank you. I'm just so proud of them. They're hard earned. The kiddos worked very, very hard. And as did the coaches. Please don't underestimate those coaches.
Here's Don with sports.
The Wildcats football team wrapped up spring workouts with a blue and white spring game Thursday evening at Gerald Prim Stadium, and the white team won 29-3. I asked Wildcats football coach Greg Owens about the first spring game around here in quite some time.
It was great. I mean, one of the things, no injuries. I mean, that's always what you're nervous about in those deals in spring ball is, somebody has a major injury somewhere that they can't recover from. But last night that's the biggest win of the night was no injuries and got out of it. May has been a great month for us as far as kids getting work done, doing those things. You and I visited about that before. It's invaluable. I mean, it's almost like a mini season in my mind that we just played in May, and we evaluated a lot of kids, got kids a lot of training for the kiddos. All those things were really good, and then we kind of finished it with a game last night, a spring game, and they're not as always exciting because it's inter-squad, and and you've got all these different kids playing different levels. But the great thing about it, you challenge kids, and you can set up scenarios and scenes, and that's what we've done all spring is set each of those drills up, things up, matchups up to see if a kid's ready to rise to the next level. Let them kind of see, if they've been a bully at the freshman level, then you put them up there and they go against a junior now you kind of see where they're at athletically, and they understand they still have to work to improve and do those things, and so it was good. I mean, all the way around, like you said, we got a ton of video, and our philosophy was last night, instead of playing 2 games of 4 quarters, mixing these kids together, we played just one longer one, a 6-quarter game, and kept matching the kids up so we could slide kids around as needed and fill in some holes there, and again challenge them and not wear them out. One group would go, we had a group going 1, 3, and 5, the other went 2, 4, 6, and so it was plenty of time for us and them to get recovered and do all that, because we haven't really been doing conditioning afterwards, and we've just been working on technique and fundamentals and drill work, and again setting up some nice scenarios to give them a challenge to give us a good look at them.
Sometimes the quarterback, can kind of overpower the situation, but you kind of took that out of the mix because they were on one team and then the other.
Yeah, Coach Young's philosophy was he wanted to move them around, give them a look, give them everybody a chance behind the number 1 O-line and those guys, and let everybody kind of work there. So it worked out, and with each little group was a challenge for them that they had to overcome something and do that. And they were semi-live last night. We let them run. We had a little quicker whistle maybe when they were fixing to get tackled, but we let them kind of run a little bit and get used to some of that, and didn't want them back there taking a shot if somebody missed a block or whatever, but we had some quick whistles on that, but it was good work for the quarterbacks. Again, great video for everybody, some good stuff overall.
When you think about where they were the first day of this and where they are now, lots of progress.
Oh yeah, but here's what I was impressed by the whole time: attitude. Their attitude was great. Now, I don't know if it's because it's just a young group of guys, really young. But I think I read an article that you'd written, I guess, from last night's game or whatever, where half the guys out there were to-be sophomores. And it's a young group because it was a big freshman class. And so I think they brought a lot of excitement or giddiness to it, if you will, those kind of things. And they kind of figure out what they've got. But no, it was good overall, great work. Everybody got good work. And we're changing schemes a little bit defensively and some things for those kids to be able to see and for us to see. And Coach Young's good at picking on Coach Abram at times and trying to mix him up a little bit and pick on the schemes and make sure we know what we're doing on there and vice versa. Last night, Coach Abram started moving his front on him and bringing a four-man front and going back to a three, and a couple of those kids' heads started spinning. But it's good for them to realize, hey, you're going to have to be able to do this, go from a four-man to a three-man front and be able to change our blocking scheme and do it on the run. And so it was good. So they saved some of those little gadgets for the ball game just a little bit. But overall, I mean, it was really good. Good things from kiddos, and again, we stayed healthy.
We talked about that large sophomore class to be, and there couldn't have been anything better for that class than spring football, because you mentioned you got a good look at a lot of these young players to decide, can this kid help me, or just kind of where they fit into the scheme of things.
Yeah, I mean, just in years past, I mean, we've had some seasoned guys always coming back, but But this year just seems like there's so many young guys. Again, we had to depend on 15 sophomores this last year, 2B juniors, and it's, again, kind of like another season for those guys too. We got a senior class. I think we've got about 18 in this senior class, and some of those guys we didn't even get to use them this week. About 3 or 4 of them were out with injuries, just from earlier stuff. And so those guys are there. So this was really not just some of those senior guys 2B. They got some quite reps, but it's still those young ones. 2B juniors, 2B sophomores, those guys getting a lot more reps and some stuff, and just getting, time will tell. I mean, it was great right now. Will I still be saying the same thing in August, when we start a week later? So we're hoping retention is really good, and guys left the spring knowing, here's some stuff. Today we'll sit down and watch the video together. Here's some stuff I need to work on. So as they go through Edge and those things, they could stay after with each other and kind of help each other do their own footwork drills, do other things, and just try to get better. So they know some stuff they've got to get better at, and that's the great thing, that we're finding that out now, and the kid knows it now. So now going into spring, you should have another goal, short-term goal, of fixing these things right now and getting ready for August when it gets here. So, those are things we think are going to happen. Again, time will tell.
Pretty good crowd. The iffiness with the weather, you weren't really sure what you're going to get rained on or anything, which they didn't. But, and plus, people are not used to a spring game around here, so I thought the crowd was pretty good and the weather was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't know whether we inside, outside, all that good stuff. And at the same time, as the night went on, I thought the crowd might have gotten a little bit bigger. People, as the sun came out, people started coming out. There's a lot of events going on in town. Out of our middle school has a huge assembly over there, awards assembly for them. So, all those things were happening, but it's okay. It was good. We got what we needed to see. The fans were there. They were excited about it. I mean, I want to say special thanks to Sulphur Springs Dodge and Jeff Shelton. That was a big deal. I know people came, to be a part of that too. So excited about that and that opportunity. Just had a chance now to hand those keys off to Dina Irving out at the dealership and take a picture there, and they're so excited. So it was a great night, and we want to thank our community and everybody for supporting our fundraising efforts, doing that to help the football team, the cheerleaders, and the trainers have the opportunity, really of a lifetime, to go and travel as a team to Florida. So we're excited about that, and playing somebody from Florida and just getting that whole experience, that life experience for them, is going to be a fun trip.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.